and it's pretty easy to sign up. It's all free. You can set it up. Sometimes there is a little bit of issue with cell phones, but for the most part, Des down there, she's on a cell phone most of the time. It works pretty good.
Eric, did you send Martin an invitation?
I did. Um, Let me know if you got that invitation, Martin. I've been noticing there's been some discrepancies here in the last couple of weeks. People sending invites and people not getting them. So if you didn't get it, please just let me know and I'll send another. Didn't get it, please just let me know and I'll send another. Well, looks like he might be coming in. Here he comes. Looks like he might be coming in. Here he comes.
Yay, there you go.
Here he is. A little nudge in the message. And here he appears, live and in full effect. The awesome Martin Shine. How's it going, Martin?
Hi all, and hello to, I think we said Lincolnshire, UK.
Yeah.
Can you hear us,
right?
Martin?
Hello? I can hear
Yes,
you.
Oh, can you hear?
Can you not hear me?
Can you
Oh,
speak
yeah,
up?
you can hear me.
The two men with the most loveliest voices on this platform.
Yay, connection.
For narrating and stuff, yeah.
Hello, Michelle Alexander.
There we are.
There we are, live and in full effect.
I was just saying
I think
hello
I might
to
have to
this
drop out and
Lincolnshire.
come back in
It was,
because I can't hear Martin. So
You can't
I'll
hear
be
me?
right back.
I hear you. I hear you, Martin. It must be something on Eric's side.
Yes,
You seem to be a little bit to the left of the screen. You're not, because the orientation
Oh,
of
yeah.
the broadcast.
Yes, I know. It's, yes, we have to be prepared for all that. There we are.
Oh,
Hopefully fitting into the jigsaw puzzle now. Fairly and squarely, just about.
I think Eric's gone to regroup, to come out and come back in again.
Yes, he'll be back any second now, and I've entered at exactly 1:19 a.m. here on March 31 as we are live, which of course is 11.
11.
So hopefully,
I'm counting my fingers. I've got all my fingers going here at the same time. I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All your fingers up on your hand there. Good. How many fingers is that?
Yeah. Oh, best part of no end. I think there's 8 and 2 thumbs, technically.
Yeah.
And I've got like my toes like poking through my sandals, and I'm not actually wearing sandals. I lied.
Eric, where are you?
Where are you?
Des. Let's help him. Let's help him.
I don't know what's wrong with his computer.
Yeah, just let's help him. Let's fix his computer.
Maybe it's something going on with Haps, because
So,
it seems
Martin,
like the
how's
more
life
people
been?
that get on a one thing, starts a glitch.
Yeah, you might want to send Eric another invitation as well, Helgar, just in case. Yesterday when I was on a broadcast, when I fell out the broadcast and then went to try and rejoin, I couldn't because the original invitation that we click on had disappeared. I thought at the time it was just a one-off, but maybe it isn't. So just in case.
I've seen that happen before.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first time.
I made him the director.
Sure.
Oh, I can. Wait.
You should be able to invite him again, though.
Yeah. I find
and Colin, yeah, things are good here, thank you. Just ticking. It's been a very positive week start of this. Although, do you know what? I'm almost forgetting. Today was a bit of a trauma for my mouth because I had my second tooth extraction, and I'm actually as I'm thinking about it now, I'm obviously the brain is heading to where the pain is somewhat in the mouth, but actually all things considered, I can't believe how smooth it's been, the procedure, and I'm not in too much pain about 10 hours after, so yeah, just got to take it easy.
Awesome.
needed that sorting out.
Careful what you eat.
Tooth was just
Yeah.
rotting. Yes, yeah. But the reason I've left it like 3 years, and that's simply because I'd had this root canal work, so there was no nerve in the tooth. So but you still got to care about yourself there, because obviously you could lead to infections. So there we go. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Enough about that. We will have to change the title to.
Yes, but it was real. We're talking real stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was surprised.
Welcome back, Eric.
It was. Hey, Eric. Yeah. Hey, what's going on there? Is all the technology up and running now in Tennessee?
Yeah, it took me a quick little bathroom break and got me some coconut water to boot. So, yeah, sometimes I don't know what it is. The last person that comes in, I can't hear them sometimes. So good to hear your voice, Martin. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Sure. It won't be as late as yesterday's broadcast. I joined them, and yeah, I got to get some. I've been overdoing it when it comes to the small hours of the morning, and I've got to try and shift all that.
It's easily done.
Yeah, I feel
well, broadcasts like this, absolutely, Colin. I mean, I think this is like the third 24-hour cycle on the trot for me, with Helga and Eric and Desiree as well. Hi, Desiree, by the way. You're keeping very quiet there at the moment.
I'm always quiet until you ask me a question, and I'll just get going.
Right. Oh. I'm just looking at Colin's picture at the moment as well, morphing away there. That's definitely going to send me to sleep if I keep my eyes there.
Let's see if we can do away with that. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Let's see if we can just cancel that. There you go. We'll just leave the clock there.
Okay.
A reminder of all things numeric.
Yeah, just a reminder that life is constantly ticking away. You know, we're all doing the best we can, and we should make the most of every moment. You know, because tomorrow is never guaranteed, as we've said countless times on here.
Yeah, particularly in this current climate and with the pandemic, absolutely. We're living in some trying times, and all having to obviously be more sensible than we might otherwise be. But hey, listen, at the beginning of this week, of course, on Monday, we were able to, legally and lawfully meet one another out in public somewhat better than we have been up until this week. And, I'm forgetting now, it's after midnight locally here, but Tuesday, as it was, the 30th of March, was pretty much the hottest day of the year. It was splendid out there, 22, 23 Fahrenheit. Yeah, Celsius. Centigrade.
Yeah, it was a lovely day here.
Hey, you're number one fans there, Eric, huh?
Yeah. She's desperately trying to give me kisses.
Right.
I have a question.
Okay.
What will be changed from the life that we used to, and when everything is open again? What will be changed for you personally?
For me personally, I'll go first with
Everyone.
that. I think it's going to be a case of recognizing that we can't always take for granted the things that are here today. As I briefly said, tomorrow's not guaranteed, but the things that we took for granted, the ability to go out, to spend time with friends, with family, it just shows you that the world can spin, as they say over there, on the turn of a sixpence. It's just so easy just for things to change radically overnight. So that's what I'm taking from it, not to take everything for granted.
Thank you, Colin. No, the next one, please.
Jennifer's in. Can I invite Jennifer up?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to send you an invite, Jennifer. And what you'll do is just depending on, are you on a cell phone or a laptop? If you're on a cell phone, you'll have to go out of the broadcast and look at your notifications, which will be up in the top. Well, actually, I don't know because I've never done a cell phone. I'll wait and see if you're on a cell phone or a laptop. But if you are on a laptop or a PC like me, it'll just flash a little button that says join the broadcast, and then you'll have to activate your mic and your video camera, and it'll just kind of prompt you through a few things, and then you'll be in here with us. But like I said, if you're on a cell phone, you might have to back out of this chat room, if you will, and find the notifications, and then you'll click on it. But I'm going to send you an invite right now. My computer's being slow, so I apologize.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is anyone in the broadcast familiar with, for that matter, anyone listening, viewers and listeners, familiar with the Klein bottle?
The what bottle?
Klein bottle, which is kind of related to Mobius strip kind of theory and other dimensions.
I'm not au fait with that.
Well, I've
Okay.
discovered the Klein bottle in the last 24 hours actually. Been looking into it significantly. It's in the chat at the moment, but it's pretty incredible when you suddenly realise this is something that's we're all familiar obviously with in our world, first dimension, second and third dimension, but this is something that really is all about the fourth dimension. And when you realise what it is, it's basically it's a bottle created by a surface that has no outside or inside when you actually look into the theory. And very quickly, it's just obvious to me that we know nothing, or at least there's so much possibilities. And it's the unknown unknowns that are out there that we've yet to discover. There's another post as well just gone into the chat, video on YouTube, which should display it and explain better for those that want to know more. I don't know, maybe now you've seen those
1882
posts.
it says the Klein bottle was first described in 1882 by the German mathematician Felix Klein. If I may just read it out, because I think this is really interesting, and it is real talk. In topology, a branch of mathematics, the Klein bottle is an example of a non-orientable surface. It is a two-dimensional manifold against which a system for determining a normal vector cannot be consistently defined informally. It is a one-sided surface which, if travelled upon, can be followed back to the point of origin while flipping the traveller upside down. Other related non-orientable objects include the Mobius strip, which obviously you just mentioned, Martin, the real projective plane, and the real projective plane. While a Mobius strip is a surface with a boundary, a Klein bottle has no boundary. For comparison, a sphere is an orientable surface with no boundary. Interesting.
Yeah, and just picking up on the Mobius strip, which I think something tells me that anyone that's familiar with this sort of science would be more familiar with the Mobius strip before the Klein bottle. But effectively, a Mobius strip is it's a bit like a roll of, it's a strip in a circle. I was going to say like some sellotape, Scotch tape. For our friends in the US, only instead of when it meets and it connects to form the circle, there's a twist beforehand. It's one of those, sort of like a paper chain, what we'd be familiar with, and you twist it before you join it, and then it's a piece of paper that just has one surface. But it's fascinating what happens, for example, just briefly while on that subject, if you cut around that, obviously if you just got a regular piece of strip and you cut along there, all the way around, you're going to end up with two circular strips, yeah. But when you put that twist in it and cut around it, you end up with just still one Mobius strip twice the size.
So would that happen with the symbol for infinity if you were to cut the figure 8 and put a twist in it? Is that the same? There again, if you did that, you wouldn't be able to get from one side to the other, would you? You'd end up on the same side all the time.
Yeah, well, effectively, Mobius strip is, you can make it into an infinity sign, but again, when you write infinity, it's obviously 2D.
Yeah.
But if you were you're making it, just so long as it's got the twist in it, and before you join it in the circle, then that makes the Mobius strip. But give it a go. Give it a go. It's a bit like the old Blue Peter. We made one earlier for those in the UK that would be familiar with that TV show.
Maybe we could do a broadcast where we actually make one on the broadcast.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of examples again on YouTube for the Mobius strip, but it really is worth looking into because, well, I mean, I personally learned about that quite a long time ago. But like anything here, these broadcasts are put out there because some people are just at the beginning of their journey in every and any way. So whoever's watching this, whether it's live or any time in the future, should be something to enlighten you about, if nothing else. There's another post in there now, I think, regarding the Mobius strip. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Like you say, people come into an environment with different people at a different time for a particular reason. And I mean, I'd never come across this orgone, but I heard it in the broadcast the other day, and I mean, I thought I'd covered all the bases. I studied like quantum theory and quantum physics and all the rest of it. The spiritual aspects, trying to understand how energy worked, etc. But I never once came across this Mobius strip. So maybe this is another prime example of people being in the right place at the right time. Eric, what's your take on a Mobius strip?
I've actually been trying to figure out how to get Jennifer on here. When I click on her name to invite her in, it doesn't give me the invite prompt. And my computer is all of a sudden going slower than anything I've ever seen. So Helga, you might try inviting her. I don't know. I apologize, Jennifer. I don't know why I'm not able to invite you in. Does anybody know that you have to be a member of HAPS for a certain amount of time before you're invited in?
No. I don't think that's the case. I think immediately you're able to be invited. It's
you might try making Colin director too and see if he can invite her in.
I'll give it a try.
So when you're talking about the strip, you're talking about DNA encodements with the fourth dimension.
Everything's
well. Specifically, I was thinking fourth dimension when it comes to this Klein bottle, actually.
No,
but because very quickly it became apparent to me when you it's basically, as I say, if you do check out what I posted on the chat there regarding the Klein bottle and the animation of it, it's basically, if you like, you're putting the bottle back into itself. It's very, and we've got to remember as well, when it's being shown here on these examples, we are trying to show something from that potentially has 4 dimensions, but in 3D. So you've kind of still got to get your head around it a little bit, somewhat, by maybe watching it more than once. But very quickly, as I say, you realise that we right now, we only have the tools to understand our world in up to 3 dimensions, but there's nothing to say that a 4th dimension doesn't exist or more.
We're actually in 5th dimension right now and going higher.
Very possibly.
The third dimension is the third dimension is alleviating, and which is why a lot of people are having issues with their health, or like why the earth is having some frequencies happening. So the fourth dimension is the starting of your Merkaba, the starting of the healing process. You starting to realize that you are I am, that you're starting to realize that you are the God essence of the self.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I could teach it about all the 9 dimensions, because we actually have 9 dimensions of this human aspect. So,
but once again, the problem is, of course, as we are, well, the average person, at least anyway, is that unfortunately we are trying to understand these other dimensions by being stuck in the third dimension. So because of that, I think certainly the average person is somewhat limited until they start trying and putting some effort into trying to look out of the box. Do you follow what I mean? Because, I mean, you know, literally, whether it's to get your head around these 4th, 5th, 6th dimension, because these are things that potentially, as I say, the average person can't see or understand. So we need to, you know, do our best with the limited resources we have. And understand, as I say, 3D.
Well, when we get to the 4th dimension and the 5th dimension, the 3rd dimension starts slipping away. So me, personally, I don't feel like I'm part of the 3rd dimension or 4th.
Yes, right.
I'm more of the 9th, because I come from I come from Sirius, if the galaxy, my soul origination. So it took me to die to have to realize where all these dimensions really come from. Because when you die, you go through all those dimensions and you see things. So I know a lot of people want more of the scientific factor of it and more of the realistic part of it. But when you get down to it, the only way to figure all these dimensions out is to go within your own self.
Right.
I was just going to say that the only way you're going to do it is to go within,
Yes.
in your own mind.
It's a very personal journey.
Yes.
It is. I just want to quickly add to that, if I can, that even though Des is in like the 5th or whatever it was, sorry, I sort of misheard because the audio dropped.
Because we actually have 9 dimensions.
Yeah. So
of this human aspect.
Yeah.
So.
But once again, the problem is, of course.
There's a repeat.
Has my audio dropped?
The average person, at least anyway, is
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just briefly saying that even though Des is in the dimension that she's in, she's still got to be able to have that interaction on the 3rd dimension. So
yeah, and that's somewhat limiting, isn't it? I would
Yeah.
suggest, from what I'm understanding from the my introduction to, say, the Klein bottle, because she's having to limit anything she may understand better than the average person, shall we say. And although she understands it, she has to put it in a way that we understand audibly, visually, and also tangibly in a 3rd dimension. So and again, it's very difficult to do that. I mean, it's bad enough. We know that from looking at, you know, television, for example. If they don't angle things in a certain way, sometimes you could very much think that it's actually flat what you're looking at. But when you look at the cube on the television from an angle, you see it's a 3D cube. So that's how we can explain to the eyes effectively and establish that what you're looking at on a 2D screen is actually 3D. So in the same way as I'm saying, Desiree has to put it into words and understanding for all of us in the 3rd dimension that aren't quite at the level she's at.
Not quite au fait with it. But the problem there is it's like, I mean, I like to address it sort of akin to trying to describe the colour red to somebody that's been blind from birth. You know, some experiences, they can't actually translate into being verbalized. They have to actually be experienced. And to experience that particular scenario, you have to be willing to step into the void, so to speak, to step into that experience, which 9 times out of 10 is going to take a certain amount of, I don't like to use the word belief because Eric shoots me down, But it takes that degree of there he goes. He's going to get the dusty ball out. But it takes a certain amount of faith leaping, or as I say, stepping into that void and being willing to be open to the fact that there's something more out there.
Sure.
Something more inside of you.
Yeah, something more inside, Helga, not outside. Sorry, something more inside. I stand corrected again. I stand corrected yet again. It's okay.
And I think that's the beautiful aspect about that, is we're all coming to realizations of our own selves. We're all coming to the realization of these dimensions and how we're able to control them and manipulate them and be able to exceed into the higher realms of our own self and our own consciousness. And I think that's the most beautiful part as a I don't want to say a spiritual being, but like as just a being, it's just truly miraculous being able to sit here and be a memory. Just being a memory, because when it comes down to it, when we're not here anymore, it will simply be a memory.
Yes. That's why it is just an experience. A human experience.
Yeah, I think it was Pierre Teilhard de Chardin said that we're not humans having a spiritual experience, we're spirits having a human experience.
Yes.
What were you going to say, Eric?
Which takes us back to, there may be some of us that have experience in the higher dimensions, but we're still in the third dimension. And so on certain levels, like I can't walk to a wall, you know what I'm saying? So even though I may have knowledge of other dimensions, I'm still growing in the third dimension. This is like the commonality that we all have.
I don't know.
Hey, Jennifer.
My computer.
Hi, Jennifer.
And I think that's the most beautiful thing about the third dimension, is that the third dimension is tangible. It is reality of everything. It is the physical feeling. You could pick something up and hold it, and it's just a beautiful essence of that. But when you start going up to the higher dimensions, it starts floating away.
Yeah.
It's no longer.
And can you, when you're in tune as you are, Desiree, can you even mentally, for example, pick something up and have a similar experience, or possibly even better, without having to worry about that third dimension?
Like having to manipulate the third dimension in order to move something?
Well, say for example, you were saying, like, for example, smelling flowers, picking up the flowers. You get to a point where if you're experiencing other dimensions, perhaps you can still have enjoyment from such things, but without touching on the third dimension, which the average person would be familiar with interacting with such objects with, and the plants.
Yeah, I think that's when you start going up to the fourth and fifth, you start realizing those smells and those frequencies, and you start to understand those frequencies as a whole, instead of so like instead of us putting third dimension and fourth dimension in categories, you start lumping them into one. So it's not like oh, the third dimension is going to drop off if I go to a higher dimension or something. It all starts lumping together in a way that it's all transforming in a I can't even explain it because it's just so weird to explain because it's unexplainable.
Would you suggest as well, though, that experiencing something from a higher dimension, where the average person, I include myself to a certain degree, yet to take a significant journey, I would say, consciously, to other dimensional stuff. Would you suggest, sometimes you just can do this, and experience things from those other dimensions more effortlessly. The more you do it, and the more experienced you are, as it seems you are.
I think we all have that, though. Every
Okay.
single one of us.
Yes.
You're able to do it.
Yeah,
You're able to
but
move things.
but the more you do it, then as I say, the less of an effort it possibly is, and it becomes just the norm for you, effectively, for want of better words. Yeah.
Yeah, the more experience that you get within your own powers or energy field, you start to realize that you're able to manipulate that matrix code itself.
Well, it's a bit like driving a car, for example, or a vehicle, isn't it? So I'm assuming and getting to with these points, which is that, after a while, you just don't think twice about which pedals to press. If it's a manual, the shift stick, the gear stick, and you just do it almost without thinking. You just know you want to go forward, and you sort of do it, and then you're able to sort of have a hands-free telephone conversation with people and focus more on that.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a pendulum. When you're talking about third dimension and everything, you're not moving the pendulum with your hand and going like this. You're using your mind,
right,
in a way, and you can tell the pendulum spin, and it'll start spinning to the right.
I used to play around. I used to play around with the pendulum with one of my older daughters. I'd put something in my hand, and then I'd give her the pendulum, and I'd say, ask the pendulum which hand it's in, make sure the pendulum showed her yes and no. And it used to work 10 times out of 10, and she was blown away by it. So there has to be something there. I mean, that proves to the unbeliever, if you're willing to experiment with a pendulum or something like that, whether we are using micro movements, and it's a subconscious mind making us make these micro movements, or whether it is actual mind over matter. I mean, I don't think you could ever prove it scientifically, but I mean, I tend to go with what you're saying, Des. You're actually tapping into that information with your mind.
But again, Colin, we're trying. You said you don't think we'll ever be able to prove certain things, but that's surely because we are thinking in a way that limits us when it comes to proving things scientifically in the third dimension in our world.
Oh, 100%.
100%. We're conditioned.
I think the problem we've got there, Martin, is even when people can experience that proof for themselves, there is always going to be that human trait that says, this can't be how it works. Even when it's there in your face.
Well, that's like children who are born, which a lot are, if not the majority, spiritually aware. But very quickly, if you don't use it, you lose it. And a lot of people around you are like, they look at the little child, and the child is talking to their imaginary friend, when often it is far from imaginary. There is a spirit there around them.
Yeah.
But very quickly they're told, oh, forget that. Yeah, go and take this doll or this teddy bear,
this real thing,
and the real thing. And so the child just, they shut it out, and they've lost that until they're a little older to understand and have the freedoms to make their own choices. So I think that's where also sounds like we're going to with this.
It's like I always drop back onto the imagination. I mean, you can sit a child there in front of the cupboard with a load of pots and pans, and they're taking off into a different dimension. They're flying their spaceships just by using these pots and pans. But I think the path that we're going down here is that, with societal programming and conditioning, we start to step away from that use of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned this so many times. A lot of people look at the imagination as make-believe, as some kind of airy-fairy made-up world, where in actual fact, if you look at the word imagination, it's your imagining or imaging factor. You're able to tap into that and use that imagination to actually image or visualize something different. But when people say it's all make-believe and it's all airy-fairy, people start to pull back from using or tapping into that imagination, that higher faculty that we all have.
We all have the one we.
That is important discernment, though, to make. Like when you're talking about the mind, and imagination and creation and like using the pendulum. Yeah, you can make the pendulum do whatever you want, but that's different than receiving.
Yeah, 100%.
So one who controls has to be aware of how to receive at the same time, because you can step on your own foot in a way, and that's where it kind of becomes almost a conundrum at some point in your own spiritual growth. I've encountered that for myself, especially like when you are saying, like you said with your daughter, Colin, where you get it 10 times out of 10, and then your mind can almost be like, oh, how can this be? But when you just be, you're not trying, you're not doing anything, you're just allowing. So like when I'm walking through the back pasture and I start receiving messages, I'm not searching, I'm not pushing energy, I'm just in the flow. So
Yeah,
there is,
allowing it to happen. Just
yeah,
in the state of allowing rather than on. I mean, I think initially we've all been there where we've been trying to link in or tune in or whatever you want to call it, and you're saying to yourself, come on, come on, come on, come on, give me it, give me it, give me it. And we're like almost
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
force it. And of course, like you
yeah.
say, I mean, I like that. You're stepping on your own foot. I like to say you're getting in your own way, but I like that. Stepping on your own foot. That's a good one.
Unless you're a fish.
Yeah, fish
Yeah.
don't tend to step on each other's feet. They're sort of, there's a bit of a fin thing going on there, isn't there?
Yeah. I'll never forget. Someone once told me, yeah, one of the best things to try, I think it's in the USA, is a leg of trout.
Like a trout.
Yes.
I don't know if that's Twitter or YouTube, but Noti
Noti says hi.
Yeah,
says
YouTube.
hi. Hello.
Hello to you. And also, Gabrielle's here saying that she's so grateful for this beautiful blessing of conversation. Thank you for that. I'm sure
Gabby.
everyone seconds that. Yeah. Yeah, Gabrielle, Gabby. That's it. We spoke with her recently. I say we. I
Yes,
was. We did. Yeah. She joined our conversation there. Yeah.
You know,
Can
I'm
everybody hear?
thankful for this conversation, because when I talk to people about these powers that we have as individual beings, people look at me like, you're weird. You're like, they don't want to talk about it because they say the conversation is too risque or it's too woo for them or too crazy.
Yeah.
But I think the
Why-
most amazing thing is when you awaken to your own power and your own sense of being. It's a beautiful thing, because you start to see the message within everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, yeah,
And everyone,
so quick.
and
So
you know everything is connected within a whole.
Yeah.
there's like so many people. Too many people are quick to shut us down when we start talking on
Yes.
topics they're either uncomfortable, usually,
Yes.
with us speaking about.
Mhm.
Can I take this opportunity when I say that as well? I think there's a direct link, definitely, to say that most people don't know themselves. I like to think that I do know myself more than I used to, and plenty more. We're always always learning about ourselves every day until we take our last breath, I think. So we need to be more in tune with all that and really just put our hands up and not be afraid to say, we're always learning. We're very quick, like with children, to pretend that we know everything. I mean, we have to a certain degree, because everyone wants reassurance and guidance, and effectively it helps them to feel safer, doesn't it? Again, with the pandemic's a great example. So everyone wants to know that government and those in authority that in the democratic world have voted in are doing their best in our best interests. But the truth of the matter is, they're only human. Very quickly in this last 12 months so far that we've had COVID-19 in the way it's affected us, very quickly the people in power, certainly in the UK, have proved that, well, our leader's a clown and just part of a big circus in that big top in Westminster. and I don't want to get too political there, but it's a fact. We can see it. We can see these people. I mean, while the UK says one thing about, we should stand 1 meter apart, another country says 2 meters apart, then the UK suddenly shifts its view and says, well, actually, yeah, we'll go 2 meters, etc., etc. So very quickly, it's become very apparent. You've got to be walking around with your eyes closed over the, since COVID-19 has taken us all into a different lifestyle. You've got to be walking around with your eyes closed to not notice that we're all just human trying to muddle through this existence.
We're doing the best we can. We're all doing exactly, I think, what we're supposed to be doing. Hang on, can anybody hear that?
Yeah. Or
Can you hear that?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
But can you hear that sound in the background? Listen to that still, quiet sound. Maybe I'm the only one hearing it. I think it's my kettle calling my name. I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Sure. Desiree, hopefully you can still hear us there. Yes.
My oldest son is in Thailand, and he's a DJ. He makes his own music, and the bars are open. The bars are open.
Yeah. And people are able to continue as they please.
Enjoy life.
As we're used to, and as they're used to there. Yeah, well, that's similar to what Sweden was doing, isn't it, from the very outset? And for a long time, while a lot of people were affected, because we're going to be, a certain number of people are going to be affected, sadly, because they're going to be more vulnerable to any virus, let alone this new one. So
only if you believe in the power of that virus.
Right. Well, I'll agree with that myself to a certain extent, as in, straight away, as soon as you mention something like this, everyone, the average, again, a large percentage of people are going to initially sort of freeze and say, whoa, we've got a problem here. It's negative. It's bad. Well, sure, it's not good.
It's not negative. It's what it is.
Well, let's face it.
You can decide not to look that way. That doesn't mean it isn't there.
Well, I would have to say
we will have
I'd have to say it is a negative.
Well, you say that, Eric. It may itself it may be a negative thing, a virus. It's harmful to a certain person that their immune system's low and isn't going to be able to handle it and defeat it. However, when you look at the bigger picture, of course, it has meant that our world has changed in some ways positively.
Right.
And obviously,
but it's still a negative, because it's doing exactly what you're saying. It's presenting the challenge to you. So you have a battery.
Challenge is good.
The only way you can get anything from the battery is if you have a negative and positive. So the negative is the receiver. So if you can receive these messages and walk through them, yes, it becomes a positive. But ultimately, it is a negative, because its main thing is to lower your frequency.
Yes.
The virus is going to lower your frequency, yes. Or the fact that other people are being affected by it is going to lower the collective frequency. So there is always the positive of it, but it in itself is a negative. There is nothing that is good or bad. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where a lot of people get in this conundrum of good and bad versus positive and negative.
Eric, glass half full, half empty. Again,
exactly.
In its basic form for the average. Again, I keep saying it's the average person, but most people, I think, are familiar with that term and that kind of example. But that's really what I think. Also, Helga is saying. Yes, mainstream media and the World Health Organization have alerted us to this. But it's how we respond that is important.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it comes back to like what we were saying a second ago. It's acceptance of the self. You know, it was Des that said that she to experience these other dimensions, she had to experience death. And so we really have to put these things to rest, these certain, ways of living or these certain mindsets or these programs. We have to allow them to die to become our foundation so that we can, like you're saying, take that negative and turn it into a positive. Because otherwise we get trapped in the infinite loop instead of the upward spiral, you
Mm.
know.
Yes.
The
Well,
comments, please.
yeah, I was just going to go to that comment actually from
Yes,
Alicia
thank you.
Davis. She says that, but the point is, they both are wrong. The refillable. Are we referring to the glass half empty, half full statement that I was making, and Eric saying that where the battery is positive and negative? Do elaborate on that, Alicia, please.
Yeah, because I think what she's also saying is, I could be wrong, but like, so if you're looking at
Yes.
the glass half empty or half full, it's still only half.
Yeah.
And so if that half is negative, then possibly you have to empty your cup to fill it with something, you know, take that negative and let it water your soil, so to speak, and then your cup can hold, which is higher than the earth's plane. It can hold the higher frequencies, so your mind can settle in the higher frequencies. But when we get like drowned down into the lower frequencies, and especially our mind and our thoughts get drowned down into these lower frequencies, we tend to either just keep going around the bush, or we get caught in this infinite loop when we really want that spiral to go up. So we take the negatives and we put them under our feet as our foundation, you know. But like you're saying, Martin, you have to be able to, like you said, a lot of the average people may not be able to see these things and then kind of learn from them and graduate, if you will, into a more positive way to deal with these things. Alicia says yes. So, okay, I'm
Yeah,
glad that I got that. I didn't want to speak for you, but I felt like I knew what you were saying.
sure.
And it
Yeah,
comes
so
back to that self experience, you know, like
you're
you and
helping you with
Colin were
your
talking
imagination
about.
to
And
achieve your every desire.
Well, I think that was Colin there, just with his audio. But do continue, Eric, please.
but yeah, like talking about what you and Colin were talking about earlier, and then I said, you know, it really comes back to accepting the self and letting the death come to whatever is with outside the self. So we're listening to the government, we're hearing people and their stories and the way COVID has affected them. But like Helga said, you know, it's your frequency and what you accept. But there's also the 3D aspect. So what have you taken on prior in life? Like, so I was talking in my adventures in the woods the other day, I was susceptible to poison ivy. I've not really ever experienced poison ivy in my past, but I didn't have all the skin issues that I currently have that I'm moving through. So until I empty my cup, I cannot fill it with something that is not going to be affected by the 3D world around me.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I understand that. Um, and it's a juggling act, isn't it? It's a fine
It is.
balance. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, we have to have law and order in the world that we live in our democracies. Certainly, where I am and you are there, in the US and the UK. But at the same time, we have to be sensible and take the positive from, as I say, law and order, and then we have to introduce into the mix that we receive from mainstream media, from our regular friends, family, and connections, and then introduce conversations like we've been having right here, right now, and recently, and explore and think out the box and remind ourselves it's perfectly allowable. It should be encouraged all the time. We should never stop questioning anything, While at the same time, there are certain things, you see the road sign there and it says you should do only 50 miles an hour. Sure, you don't need to really question that type of thing. It's there for a reason. We can pretty much trust that someone's decided that's the safe speed on that particular stretch of road. But there are other things in our daily lives that we do need to question, certainly. Yeah.
I've said this so many times, Martin. It's like sometimes we have to have the courage of our own convictions and question our opinions, our beliefs, and say, are these still valid? Are these still current?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that gives you the opportunity to experience that personal growth. Because, I mean, the example I used, at one point we all believed in Father Christmas. And then we get told, there's no such thing as Father Christmas. Right. So we can shift our belief systems. It is possible. But unless we question them, it's too easy to go on assuming that we're right all the time. And until we do question them, we're not going to be able to step into experiencing the spiritual realm, etc.
Yeah, no, absolutely. An example, an obvious one is cigarettes. They were first, we were all first told, oh yeah, it's great. Look how these look great. They're a social tool and, something to embrace. And they just in every way positive. And then suddenly years later, we're told, well, actually, they might be damaging your health. And if we didn't question things like that, where will we be today? So always continue questioning things. Don't drop yourself in the head.
For those, may I please?
Please, Helga.
Yeah.
For those who believe that for those who know that we are eternal, we know it doesn't matter what we do, we don't die. And yes, when you believe that cigarettes will kill you, it surely will. But when you know it won't kill you because death doesn't exist, it won't. It's just the way you look at things. Stop to want to know and go with the flow. Every day that we open our eyes to this dream that we dream together, like now, we have an opportunity to arise and feel and know that I am. And that I am is inside of us. We use the words constantly, but we don't realize what we speak. I am. I was, I am, and I shall always be. And it doesn't matter in what kind of form. The fact is, we are.
Yeah, I think Brandy said it really good here. She says, sometimes you should let go, let your body, mind, and soul take over without thought, without doubt, without question. Which, talking about what Helga was talking about, like smoking, I mean, these people that smoke all their lives and don't get ever get cancer, I don't feel like they've ever thought about it. That's not even really ever come across their digital computer, their mind. They just do it because that's what they're doing. Alicia asks, so how many dimensions are there? That's a good question, Alicia. Brandy says there's 9. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to put a number on it because that would be a little bit past my pay grade, so to speak. I personally feel like I know more than 9, but
As the human aspect, there's 9, just as
But-
the human.
as Des said earlier, they're all kind of one. So the way that I've experienced the different dimensions is by just allowing myself to get different information different ways and through different avenues, which I know in my heart that's through different dimensions. But I don't think I'll go as far as to say how many dimensions there are. As a human, I would say I've experienced more than 9, but that's just me.
This is what I mean. As a human. But we are not this human. We are everything. When we leave this body again, we will realize again.
So Martin asks, are you aware there is a quiet home? And I think Colin brought this up earlier in the audio. It is very low frequency. It's weird. My audio is muted on my end at the moment. I'll check it out though. Thanks. I noticed there's been a lot of audio issues going on the last day or two on here.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that I did have a hum. Excuse me. I just wanted to just drop back onto something that was said a moment ago. In that, as Des said, about the different dimensions. I think half the problem is that we're trying to explain things in our own vocabulary.
I have my internet connection.
Terminology. So like dimension is obviously, a definition that we use. Hang on. What's going on?
It's Jennifer. She's in the room.
She's certainly here on the audio when she wants to talk. I don't know whether she wanted to just stay off of vision earlier on.
Can you all hear? I can't hear.
Yeah, I hear her.
We can hear her.
Yeah.
We lost
Just
it
waiting.
again.
I think we're just waiting for her internet connection to settle down as well. Jennifer, can you hear us? No, she's gone.
This one again. Yeah.
For now, yeah.
Scarlet Pimpernel, they seek her here, they seek her there.
Yeah, if she can join us again, then we can certainly bring her in with audio if she's having some low bandwidth problems on the internet. But try joining with just the audio, Jennifer, perhaps. We could at least.
But yeah, I think what you were saying, Colin, is kind of what I was trying to say. So thank you for saying it better. We're trying to use human words and human ways to describe these different ways of perception, and that's really all different dimensions are different ways of perception.
That's where I was trying to go. It's amazing how this is working out. But I mean, we look at the word dimension, as you just pointed out. It's a human word, so we're trying to even grasp the concept of a dimension. I mean, we can understand it to a greater degree when we're talking about a three-dimensional object like a cube or something along those lines. But when we're talking about different dimensions of reality, different dimensions of experience, I think that's where a lot of people sort of fall short of the hurdle there. They're struggling to grasp the concept of the different ways of perceiving things.
I know everyone keeps saying the human, you're not human, or you're not of this. You're just of this human or something. But to me, personally, I don't think that we're only human. I think we're sparks of angel dust encoded into our DNA. We have Nephilim DNA, and we have all this other DNA codes within us. And to me, I am my body because my body is spirit. And wherever I go, my body goes. Wherever my body goes, I go. Whatever I feed my body, it feeds my soul. Whatever my soul feeds on, my body feeds on. So I know everybody has a different perspective about the human essence, but we are also conditioned and told that we are human, when in fact, we are more than human. We are much, much more than the capabilities of a human. We have these beautiful, tangible powers that we could use with our imagination, our childlike abilities, where we are conditioned through our entire life, told that we were just human, taking shots to dumb down our abilities, told that we're not allowed to be a child.
Yes.
We were told that we weren't allowed to do this or that. How do we know that we're only human?
Yes.
How do we know only our words are only human? So we were told, we were conditioned.
I love this.
So when you take a step back out of your own body while you're laying down at night and you're standing on the side of your own body with your cords still connected to your body, because without your body, your soul would not be. And without your soul, your body would not be.
Yes.
Can I add to that? Can I add to that, Helga?
Definitely.
What I'm drawn to say is that what Desiree is saying is spot on from my perspective. From my perspective, I cannot speak for everybody. I mean, that's just how it is. But let's assume, for argument's sake, anybody on the side there, let's assume that what Desiree said is absolutely right, that we're all conditioned to think that we're only human. Let's assume for a moment that we have that subconscious connection to everything. Let's assume then that the conditioning affects or impacts on or infiltrates the subconscious mind to the point where we do believe that. That gives us a head start, because once we accept that, we can then look towards reconditioning the mind with new beliefs, with new possibilities, which will then open us up to new experience. That was it, Helga.
Yeah,
Thank you, Colin.
that was perfect.
Only the word believe.
I knew as soon as I said that word, I'm going to get chopped down in flames like the Red Baron. Yes, let's go with the word belief. But I mean, the only reason, Helga, that I tried to slip that under the radar, because I mean, we can relate to the fact that belief has got the word lie intrinsic in its
Yes.
spelling, but a lot of people will be able to relate to the terminology of belief. If we can believe that this is possible, then we're in. But yes, Eric's absolutely right. Belief has got a lie in it.
Just to draw you to the comments, people, Brandy says that Brandy's known since she was a child that she was from a star.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew from the beginning that I was different. I was different than my brothers and sister. But I didn't know how different I was. And I was different because I wanted to know as much as I could about life and myself. And from my whole family, I'm the only one who thinks this way.
Yeah, Jennifer, we can see you on the sidebar. I'm gonna try and bring you in. See if how
Not
this
sure if the
goes.
audio's working though, Eric. Is it? It was
I'm
before.
not
That's how we
sure.
need. I think now it's the other way round. Video, no audio. We'll
I
find out.
think you might be right, Martin. Say something for us there, Jennifer. See if we can hear you.
No, we can't. She's talking.
Yeah, we can see you, but we can't hear you. I know this technology can be frustrating sometimes. It's like when Des and Helga and I talk without the internet. It's so beautiful, and then the internet gets
Give
in
us,
the way, and you're
give
like,
at least while she's there, give us a wave. Come on, let's have a good wave or a thumbs up. How about it? Yeah. Hey, there we go. And one of those maybe as well. Hey, there we are. It's getting used to the old hearts here for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
we love your
Maybe.
determination.
Yeah. Would you like to try again, Jennifer? Maybe if we drop you out of here and I wonder if resetting the app might help you as well. Just a thought. But it was definitely there before, nice and loud, the audio. You gonna try again? Is that a thumbs up?
Yeah, speaking on what y'all are speaking about, the star. I mean, as a young child, I can't say that I ever really got that, but as I grew up, and like what Colin's saying, the conditioning and the programming and what we've been told as the human. I can remember working at the tattoo shop, and I was still getting messages from spirit or my soul or God, whatever you want to call it, saying one day you're going to learn about chakras and this and that, and it's not going to seem all woo woo or whatever. And even for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been working at getting a lot of this information. But it wasn't until I started working with my soul family that a lot of these things started becoming solidified. Like when me and Daz go into a meditation and we go work with these energies and stuff, and she's speaking to it and I'm seeing the images or getting the information, and I speak to it, and then she's like, oh, I was just getting that information too. It really does help, like what Colin's saying, is to reprogram ourselves. And so even though it is an individual process, when you look at it from the aspect that we all are one, when we start coming together like this, I think it was Helga that asked the question at the beginning of the broadcast, why are we coming together now? And I feel for myself, it's to help reprogram, to help dig deeper in some of the things that maybe we couldn't swallow ourselves. Our other
Yeah,
soul
that's
family members help us to bring into a sense of knowing instead of questioning it or doubting it.
Sure thing, Eric. I think Jennifer now is with us almost. She's fallen out again, but I think maybe the audio's there. Can you hear us, Jennifer? Definitely keeping us on our toes here right now.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about being here. Oh, is she out again? Oh man.
Yeah, I think she's gonna try to redo it, maybe.
It's like, I've been waiting to have these conversations with people because it's like outside of our own circle. Because it's like, everybody we talk to like resonates, and like we have our own like soul family, and like we find our tribe. So we all come from different places in the star systems, and we all aren't lower dimensional beings when we first get here. So the conditioning really happens when you're born, or when they try to tell you that they own you in a way. So the whole like aspect of us trying to get back to where we were, it always comes, you know, into mind with a lot of people, because we weren't born to work jobs and to, you know, do nothing, like just work jobs, go home and poop and eat and, you know, like sleep and that's it. Oh, like our mission as the human essence is to have such a great experience here as higher beings. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused with the religions and everything and pulling it all in. And when you're able to actually pull in all the religions and bring them together as a whole, there's one aspect of that religion, of all religions, and that is oneness of the I am. And once you realize the higher aspect of your own self, of who you truly are, you don't have to have a worry of wanting to know all these dimensions and how to get there, how to ascend, how to do this, how to do that. You just know to
Wow.
go with the flow. Oh, is Eric kicked off? And Helga
No.
was too.
Yes.
Did you all see that? Like everybody in the sidebar just went.
The energies
So-
are high.
So when we come here
Can
to
I-
Earth, we're a higher aspect, but we're conditioned to be that lower aspect when we grow up.
Yeah.
And then when we grow up, we find out who we really are, and we revert back to our higher aspects.
100%.
Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'll go into my voice. Okay, let's see. Right, seriously though. Briefly, a few moments ago before you started speaking, Des, I mentioned about conditioning, etc. And well, you broached the topic of conditioning, and I said if we accept the fact that the subconscious mind, if we imagine that to be connected to spirit, if we accept the fact that it can be conditioned, I said we stand a good chance of being open to a new way of looking at it. And I think this sort of ties in with what Martin was saying about being able to question our belief systems. Not belief systems, Eric's going to shoot me again. To question our certainties.
Well, no, that's what you got to do. You got to question the lie. So yeah,
You got to question the lie. Okay, yeah, that fits then. That fits. Well done. Thank you. So if we question that belief, that is half the battle. If you're willing to accept the possibility and say, what if there were another way of looking at this? Why I bring this to the table is because, what's that noise? Some buzzing in the background. That's not me. A few years ago, when I first started getting into the whole spiritual aspect of things and doing the whole linking in, tuning in, perceiving extraneous information, whatever label you want to put on it, I would sit in my shed. Well, I say a shed. It was like a meditation area. It was all set out with the little statues and all the religious symbology that I had in there, and it was like a little sanctuary. So I'd go in there, and this is just a tip for anybody listening on the side for them to try it. So I'd sit in there, I'd play some background music, and I'd leave my voice recorder running, and I'd close my eyes, and I'd be listening to this like relaxing music, and I'd say, okay guys, just show me what I'm supposed to see. Then I would sit there with my eyes closed, and in the darkness, it was like in the darkness, excuse me, coughing now. In the darkness, it was like I was fading into the distance. And as I faded into the distance, it was like this light and different colors would fade back into the foreground. And then this light would transform into different imagery and like figures and moving and information. And then I would, as I say, as this stuff's happening to me, what I'd do is record it. I'd say, right, okay, so I see this, I see this, I see this. We've got some audio.
That's Jennifer trying to join us, I believe.
I'm almost there. I'm almost
Yeah.
there. I'm almost at the end. So what I suggest, go into a place where you
going right through
play some background,
this
leave your voice recorder running,
stuff.
be open to the possibility and say, okay, guys, or whoever, just show me what it is that you want me to see, and then just record what it is that you're seeing. And you'll be amazed at the results just by being open to the possibility.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Colin. Do we have Jennifer now?
Yes, we do. We do. I'm going to bring up her audio. Hey, Jennifer.
Yep. Okay. Okay, cool. Go down.
Hey, Jennifer, can you hear
I just really want to
myself
shut
and
that
Helga
down.
there? We can certainly hear you trying to shut something down.
Could it be that we are too much in the room?
It's definitely her internet connection, or at least her connection to the broadcast in the cloud. Yeah, to HAPS, exactly, Eric, to her node into this group of ours. She's dropped off completely again now. But all I can say is try again, and I would suggest just audio next time, as a start anyway, and see how we go. Don't know if it's her internet connection or just that sort of part of HAPS that she's trying to plug into metaphorically.
Yeah. And I really like what you said too, Colin. Speaking to what Des said is, and what Brandy's speaking about there in the chat, because it really comes back to remembering. You know, we all came in with certain bits and pieces. We may have signed off with them through programming, fear, other applications that shut us down in some way, but it really comes back to remembering, and remembering that connection to what we've all spoke about, the oneness. And once we can get there, then it's recognizing you and your fellow humans, and being able to, like Des is saying, being able to finally let your hair down and really connect with people, and talk about what you've perceived, what parts you forgot, what parts you remembered, what experiences brought you back online, and that's really the beauty of it, is being able to share. Sharing is caring, and being able to be heard, in a world that it's kind of cancel culture right now, and everybody's being shut down, or everybody has their way or their religion, and everybody else is wrong. It's kind of funny when you get to that point, really. But when you think about it, everything's happening all at once. So all these past lives, they're happening right now. Our lives in other star systems, they're happening right now, but we're just perceiving it from this point. So it's really about being able to tap into those other dimensions, as we were speaking about earlier, to be able to experience them, or remember them, or bring them into our conscious awareness.
Wise words. I'm going to have to step down, guys. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and I've got stuff to do tomorrow. But I just wanted to come back in and say thank you very much for inviting me in tonight. It's been a pleasure to sit and chew the fat with you guys, and hopefully we'll all catch up another time.
Thank you so much, Colin. We love you.
Take care.
So much
Thanks
love,
again.
Colin.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Take care, Martin. We'll all speak soon. Bye, Helga. Take care. Good night.
Oh, gee, I was muted.
Yeah,
So was
Brandy
I.
says that
So was
oneness
I.
is.
Go on, Eric.
Brandy says, oneness is my purpose in this experience, to bring as many as possible to oneness together. Yes. Very well said, Brandy. Thank you. John!
Glad you mentioned that
Go
name.
Smith. His name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the
we
people
always
always
hear
shout,
John Jacob Jingleheimer.
da 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 da
No,
da
no,
da
no,
da.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, I mentioned, as I said, I'm glad you mentioned John's name, Eric, there, just bringing him in and acknowledging him, because earlier on he was commenting, and I think we got carried away with our conversation at that point. Yeah. But he's back.
Can
And then
I
there
eat
was
the dusty balls, please?
Let me find my trusty mallet. Good knuckle will do it until then. Looks like Jennifer's going to try it again. Umana Beach, NSW, Australia. Oh, is that sound? You kind of almost sounds like a rotary dial every once in a while. Aw, that's. I'm sorry, Jennifer. You're having so much troubles.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know, but do you have something for the collective?
A reading?
I don't know. Just what you feel, if you have something. If you don't have anything, it's also fine.
There is a question, by the way, in the chat.
Okay, go ahead.
It was from Alicia Davis. I would really like to learn more about this. Are there any books, websites, etc. I can read?
Start off with Dolores Cannon.
Yes.
Sorry, Eric, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I think going back to what everything keeps coming back to is there are books out there, yes, there are websites, but as Colin was saying, just go within and ask the questions, and like Brandy was saying, just be open to what the universe has to you in that moment. But yeah, I would definitely, any books that you might be interested in, get a couple of different references and then allow your feelings to pick which one to go first, because some people get it that way. You read a book and you really like that truth speaks out to you. For me personally, books haven't been on the radar because of different energies, so going within and getting the answers and then hearing about books and people going, oh, I read that in a book, I like what you're saying, it almost has more value to me. But that's just me.
Well, just as a starter, because a lot of people aren't as advanced as we are at the stage right now. So, like, a lot of people, like when I first awoken, like with my abilities, I was into Ralph Smart and like stuff like watching YouTube videos, and like I was really into that. And I got into books and I started getting into like cards, like tarot and stuff. And I started learning what chakras. So you could start off with chakra charts, learning how to balance your chakras, learning how to the mobility of your chakras, the auric fields and energy like that. So I know saying going inside, like Eric's saying, it really does help. But sometimes we need that outside source to see sometimes of the meaning of certain things. If you know what I mean, Eric.
Oh no, yeah, that's why I said, some people it is through books. You read something and it just like, opens that reality up for you, or you identify with that truth. And so yeah, I wasn't trying to disqualify reading, but just trying to add to it. Always just go within as well. Yeah, books are very valuable, and Dolores Cannon is probably one of the best starters.
And if you want to do meditations to start off with, Steve Noble is my friend on Facebook, and he does really good meditations. And he actually helped me start off with my healing journey and my capabilities of the angels and everything, and being connected to that. So, like Eric's saying, going within, I would definitely say start off with meditation, like Colin said.
I have it in their face, don't they? So okay. That's
Oh.
better.
There's some things that I put in there
I
for
can
you.
hear.
So
I'm here.
All right,
Yay.
we'll try. We'll bring you over into the main chat so we can see you and hear you. See if it all works
Welcome.
together.
Hello.
You finally made it. Hey.
Yay.
Hello,
Good to see you.
Jennifer.
Hello. So good to be here. One phone and 3 computers later. I found it.
You made it.
I did. Such beautiful people.
And
Oh,
another
thank
one
you.
came in. Just came in.
Oh, it's just so good to be alive.
Yes. To have this experience together, right?
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, Jennifer is one of my soul sisters. She was on that broadcast that I was on with Todd Medina, and so I saw her in my dreams as well. And then we talked briefly in the Soul Family group that all of us are in, and she told me about a day on the beach that I had seen in my dreams, and then she had another dream that spoke to. So it's all coming together finally.
It's so beautiful. I'm tingling all over.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Wow.
So, Helga, do you want me to read these 2 dragon cards?
Oh, yes, please, honey bunny.
Okay.
Love
So
dragon.
again, we have the yellow ray dragon coming out.
Uh,
So this is expansion, manifestation, and illumination. So the topic tonight was expanding ourselves, finding out that we're all whole and one within one another, the manifestation of the dimensions or of synchronicity of energy fields and things coming together of our own self and of everything all connected. And then the illumination of who we truly are as ourselves and as one. So at this time, we're bringing that beautiful yellow ray energy out from our solar plexus, our godlike energy, our self-power energy, and we're bringing that up, and we're being engulfed in this beautiful yellow gold energy, being shown that we do have this full power. We can have this full power, and we will have this full power of who we truly are. We're going back to who we are and where we've come from and where we will go. So we're all
Can I tell
manifesting.
a story about the
that-
dragon with that exact gold light?
It's the yellow ray dragon.
Yeah. Can I
So-
just tell a story about that?
Jennifer,
Can I
yeah,
finish with the
Perfect
reading real
time.
quick?
Yeah, I just came in and then you just get that card and you just pull that. This is the sort of shit that happens right now. And it just goes and it just flows and it's that simple and just that direct that you just it's like drinking water. So basically with the golden dragon. Well, the dragon, what happened to me here is after I spoke to you, brother, having and coming and living on the beach here, after having to leave our off-grid property out bush because of drought here in Australia. So we've got 6 kids, so I had to bring them in for some joy, you know. And we came in, the dragons helped me through. The dragons helped me find a house within 3 days. It was just done. I saw the house in my dreams. I was dancing in one of the rooms on the floorboards with the blinds billowing, the whole feel, the whole loving of it. And then within 3 days, and I traveled 800 kilometers with my youngest. And yeah, we got the house. She started playing in the cupboards and that. And the old me was thinking, like, you know, I don't really say the old me, but we all had the 2 parts. One, the society thing, and then the other one, freedom and love. And she was like playing in the cupboards and everything with the property manager there. And that part of me was going, oh my goodness, I really want this house. What's going on here? Please don't make her not like us. Do you know what I mean? No worries. She loves us even more, you know? And that's it. And we've been here 2 years now this Easter. And with the dragons helped us in because we were in a tiny little car, and I had to take 3 of my girls in a little Hyundai Excel. If anyone knows what those little cars are, they're tiny, two-door sports, and it held the world. We just came with mattresses and some clothes and things, and just set up room. And because we'd been traveling around Australia for 4 years in a bus, we were so used to living on top of each other that we just stayed in the one room for the first month of living here. So all of a sudden, instead of our little world being just so cozy and beautiful with the family, 7 of us living on a bus, and then opening the doors to the world, and it's huge, it was like a complete flip. We ended up living in a massive house, like a mansion, and then you open the doors and everybody's there and the world's right at your feet. So we had to get through all of these things and that. And meanwhile, through all this, the dragons are there just constantly with me, constantly with us. I went down to the waterfront at Yamina Beach here, and I call it Dragon's Cove. It's actually the Lion's Gate. And it's really indigenously important and special, and it's just incredible. And I got shown a massive, gorgeous gold cage. You'd think it wouldn't be nice, but it was amazing. It was kind of like the lotus flower up, right? So, and it was a cage, and it just completely opened. And I was just like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. Just standing there on the ocean, and just that release. And this was 2 years ago, just before all this pandemic and that. And anyway, meanwhile with the dragons and that, we're just being inundated with dreams, just absolutely flying with them, seeing them, becoming them. My children too, because we'd already started dream sharing for years, from being in a small space and living beautiful, beautiful life, just traveling around Australia for 4 years. I mean, what a gift. And then even that whole scenario to get there was just, I just live by spirit. I do as I'm told, and it works out every time. And then, yeah, the dragons, she came to me and she showed me that I was her baby green dragon. And I went through an entire initiation going into adolescence with my mother dragon. And then she showed me father, and it was just, I mean, you look down and you got scales on you, you know, and you got these funny hands and stuff, and yet you can you can see more, do more, and you would think you could do and see less with these appendages. But it's just incredible sensations, and the sight, the sound, the touch, the taste, everything, shown everything. And then she birthed something else. She had something brewing, and I could feel it too. And I think the entire collective could feel it at this stage. It was just brewing, and in her belly was just completely glowing alight. And it's as if she had to, or she did, she had to put this special birthing in somewhere so sacred and so special that, you know, everything and everyone can access it and feel it and attain it and keep it safe, I guess. And then it started. And my partner could hear it too. I started feeling an extra heartbeat in my right hand side. I started feeling an extra heartbeat. I started sort of amalgamating spirit and reality in such a way that there was, it wasn't a veil. It was like as if there was no walls, no doors, no nothing. And this happened for a while, and it was just, I was then also starting to feel like I was a giant sometimes, or I was a little hobbit. It was really, really, woo, awesome. And then I started, it not only for me started feeling it, I could hear it. And my partner, I got him, we've been together for 20 years, never married because we just don't do all their stuff. Anyway, he listened as well, and he could hear the extra heartbeat. So I had these two simultaneous heartbeats. One was a little, you know, different than the other one, so you could hear it. And it was just crazy. And I'm saying, I've got this extra heart. It's a golden heart, and it made every thing that you would normally feel as pain was halved, and then everything else that you would normally feel as joy and rapture and fun and all that stuff was doubled. And
Wow.
this is following my Kundalini experience that you know about from 2 years ago when I had my seizure and everything. Yeah. And this is the latest. This is what happened, and it's just been gorgeous. Like I've just been painting ever since. I've started studying to become a youth worker, and I'm going to teach them art therapy and how to just be themselves, and you know. It's just been amazing. So much fun. So much
Thank
fun.
you for
Beautiful.
sharing.
Yeah, it's so interesting how the dragons translate from like you're saying, the Kundalini, and like what Des is talking about, the earths and the ley lines and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm
I've
so
always
glad you
played
shared.
with the elementals, always, since I was a little girl. And when we came here, there was even a fairy in the actual alleyway. There was a fairy in the alleyway, and she was absolute pink, like what is it? Hot pink. Yeah, she's hot pink, and she kept flying up and down the alleyway because here in New South Wales, we don't really have any carports or garages for your cars and that. What we have is, because it's so populated, we have granny flats out the back. And then for them to access their granny flat out the back, we have all these alleyways. They used to be used as for the dunny doctor, who used to come and take away everybody's shit. So anyway, she's there in that. And then I said something to Christine, the property manager, about it. And she goes, "Do you know what, Jen?" And I said, "What?" And she goes, "Your house that you're in now used to be a family daycare centre with loads and loads of kids." So wherever there's kids,
Mm,
there's the elementals. And they're just
mm-hmm.
when we were traveling, we took photos of them in the trees. We took photos of them. They left little footprints in the middle of our bus, little tiny footprints, and took a photo in that. And they're just like, oh, I don't know if you can see it. They're like this tiny, just so beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. And the synchronicity of, like what you were just saying, you're going to be going into working with the children, and that house already possessed that energy. That's so amazing. Very beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
Des, did you say you pulled 2 cards?
Yes.
Yeah. I was letting her have her beautiful energy.
Yeah. I want to hear what the rest of it is on, because I'm seeing the whole synchronicity unfold. So let's see where it keeps continuing to go.
So as we're having this yellow, beautiful energy unfold out like from our auric field or like from our solar plexus, it's actually being brought up. So our power is being taken to our heart and to our throat chakra. It's being brought up. And so we're feeling that power within the love energy. And we're not being selfish about that power. We're being empowered by love with that energy, wanting to get it out to all the other people who have the same exact energy. And we're trying to pull those other people in and be like, hey, let me teach you. Let me show you. Let me guide you. Not even guide you, but let's do this together.
Yes.
Let's be together and do this. And so as we're doing that, we're pulling it up to our throat chakra, where the blue is just like poof, 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 poof. And we're speaking our truth. We're saying what's on our mind. We're not holding back whatever's, holding our sacral power down. Because when you hold your sacral power down, you're not speaking your truth. You're not in your authenticity of your own self. But this is where the Capricorn dragon is coming in. I'm getting goosebumps now. And we have the blue and green energy with this dragon. And there's ambitious, discipline, and self-control. So with our self-empowerment, we're having our ambitious energy coming out, and we're wanting to go and find those like-minded people who have the same heart energy as we do, who have the same speaking energy as we do, who want to have the same family as we do. And we're out there trying to find our family, our soul family from our hearts. And that's where the ambitious energy is coming in. We're being that childlike energy again. We're going back to who we used to be. But we're also having to discern and to self-discipline ourselves too. What is it that you need to speak upon lightly, not in a really angry mode, having self-control of yourself. And this actually goes to myself too, because I'm a fire energy, and this whole fire moon is just like poof to me. So this is definitely for me too. So, we're having to discipline ourselves. What is it that we really need to get out there that we need to teach to one another? Disciplinary, like going out there in a way of what is right and wrong. Not right and wrong, but what is the way that we really need to teach each other in that disciplined way? What is it that we need to share with each other in that self-controlled area? Not too overly like, oh, here's all this information, or like blah, blah, blah. But we're doing it in that self-controlling energy. We're able to control our energy a little bit more. We're able to dig deep and being able to use our energy wisely. So use your discernment wisely. Go within and use that godlike power that you have. Invoke yourself in these beautiful rays of light, and know that you are beautiful, you are whole, and you are home.
Thank you, Des.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that perfectly embellished what Jennifer was speaking to as well. She finally got in here and expressed and shared with the rest of us from her heart to her throat chakra all this power from the yellow ray. It's beautiful. I love it. Love it. Love it.
It's fun.
And yeah, so Jennifer, up in the top left corner, that's my sister Helga, and I was divinely led to her through another spiritual person, Greg Prescott. You've probably heard of him. And then Desiree's on the right there, and I met her and Helga on the same day.
Through a praying mantis.
That was perfect.
Yeah. And then Martin here above me, he's my soul brother. I just met about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I've seen him in a couple of my dreams as well. So
May I correct you? Our soul brother.
yes. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Our soul brother.
Oh, okay. Yes. Our soul brother. Thank you for correcting me there.
So beautiful.
I think that's what Eric meant, didn't you, Eric? Because as we're all one, if you speak for yourself, you speak for us all.
Whoa,
thank you for saving me there, Martin.
Martin with the wise words.
Mighty producer, it seems at the moment. I've been you've probably seen a few things flicking around the screen there and stuff. Just trying to keep some order there. But yeah, there you go. Keeping myself in order.
You know what I
As a
want
we.
when I go live? That people can feel home, feel comfortable. No judgment.
Yeah. That's it. That's how I felt the moment that I saw my partner. I just felt home. Yes. And that's 20 years ago now. So we were in our 20s and I was dancing and having a fat time and having a drink and stuff, you know, getting down. And then he's just there and that was it. He said something naughty that I loved. And I just kissed him all the way from the band to the bar. Didn't stop. Just all the way, like dragged him through the club, like just 20 years later, whoop whoop.
Nice.
Yeah. And we had loads and loads of kids, and people are saying, "Oh, isn't there anything on TV? Don't you have something else to do?" Like, have you
How
seen?
How many children do you have?
6.
6. Oh, I have 4.
Congratulations. You don't actually just have 4. You have 8. The other 4 are your children's subsequent life partners. They're out there. You just haven't met them yet.
Well, I met 2 already. 2 daughters.
There you go.
Des.
There you go.
Gabby.
Yeah.
And 3, Brandy. And in this lifetime, I have only boys. So I need one more baby girl.
Oh,
Who wants to be my baby girl? I need one more.
That means Peyton's like your grandbaby. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
I used to have so many women come up to me, you know, when I'm pushing my trolley full of kids, and because 4 of them are all a year apart. So I'd have a newborn, a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And they'd just be like, you know, are they all yours? And are they twins? Are these? I'm just like, yeah, they're all mine, all one at a time. Would have been lovely to have twins. But, you know, and then they'd say, oh, I only had 1 or 2 or 3, and I'd say, no, and I'd just double it, and they'd look at me and really want to know, and I say, yeah, they're your subsequent life partners. They're just out there. You just haven't met them yet.
Yes.
Hmm.
I love you already.
Love you too, beautiful. Your patterns, your art, speaks to me. You know, underneath your cardigan, your dress,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
stunning. Yes. Look at this. Love. Speaks to me. Yeah. I'm actually making at the moment a my first ever stained glass window. LED lighting. Yeah. I'm doing a massive pelican in flight. It's pretty awesome. I'll go get my phone and with the photo, and I'll see if it can pick it up. Would you like to have a look?
Okay.
I'm
Yes,
nearly
please.
finished. Okay, cool. I do art once a week. Mama has her time, and you know, she goes and does her thing. I'll show you.
Yes.
I sense a collaboration coming.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
You'll love some of the stuff she works on. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick, y'all. I'll be right back.
I love this conversation. Thank you for letting me speak so much, Mama.
Oh, honey. You need to speak. We all need to speak.
Yes. Okay, here we go. So, if you can, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
yeah, it's stained glass. Yeah, hang on, and it's actually really big. So this picture is good because you'll see my mentor Alison's granddaughter in the corner, and we hang out together now as well. We've like become besties. Look, see? So it's really big,
Wow.
right? Yeah. Hang on, silly phone. Wait. It's a really silly phone. Yeah. See? So there's. Hang on. Which way are you
With
going?
glass?
Yeah, it's all glass. Wait, I'll go that way. Then I'm gonna go the opposite. That's it.
Wow.
And then see her face.
Yes, it looks like paper.
These pieces. Yeah.
Yes.
It's that big.
She
And
looks like my granddaughter.
she does. Yeah, that's Gabby.
Can
We're
you
gonna
take
go
her
see
desk?
her on Friday. Sorry.
I wasn't able to see the whole picture, but
Oh,
if
okay.
we become friends on Facebook, you could send me a picture and I'll look at it.
Oh, absolutely. It's really beautiful to work with. So it's like really, really sexy glass. It comes from, you know, lightning hitting sand, like heat with sand. I mean, how cool is that? That's
Oh,
where
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just goes right into you. It's something else, eh? It's so good. And you know, they stopped making glass products and this and that, the other, and then transforming it into plastic. And you know, they're stopping people from experiencing the inner beauty, the connection, the sultriness of materials. You know, we're here predominantly to touch. We're here to do that. Whether you know have no sight, whether you have no sound, whether you have whatever, everybody touch. You know, you have touch no matter what, even if you're just a, I don't know, floating head with a body with no arms and legs, you still feel, you still touch. There's, you know, you could be mute, everything. It's everything, and you're meant to do that. And they pull away everything, and piece by piece by piece by piece, as soon as they start understanding or getting wind of you enjoying something, pull it. So that's the new earth, being able to taste, touch, see, hear without any constraint, with a purity of heart. And it just, yeah, it does good for me and the kids, but the kids don't like school now.
I
They
can
don't
imagine.
like school. Yeah,
Can't you do homeschooling?
we did for 4 years.
Mhm.
And so then they went back to school, and they're not even on the same wavelength as the other kids. It's really, heartbreaking. I mean, the other kids just, not all of them, they find them. Often they've found friends that are 2 years older than them, or just different, because
Mhm.
the mainstream, what it does is it just dumbs them down so bad that they just talk about incidental crap that goes nowhere, leads nowhere, and then they start judging each other and themselves, and it's just awful. That's why I cannot wait to be a youth worker and just, hello, love you, welcome home, have a chat, have a seat, are you hungry, do you want something to drink, have a yarn, that sort of thing. Yeah,
Yes.
just keep it simple. And they have so much to share. I mean, look at all of us, and we've already lived so long, and we've kind of swum through all the bullshit, like wading through mud, and we're awake, and we're just going like, this is good, this is beautiful, look at this space, I want them to do that so that they're already adjusted adults when they're going in. Imagine how hardcore, awesome, cool that'd be by now at our age. If you had, a little bit of everything.
I have followed Roxanne from Odyssey of Ascension, and her view is that we are all gods, we are all creators.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And why would we want to change someone else?
No, we just let them grow. Let them grow. Just giving them the space
Experience.
to grow. Yeah, absolutely. Not putting crap fertilizer on and changing the temperature here or there, and do you know what I mean? Just let that thing go. Give
I
it
know
sun.
what you mean. I know
Yeah,
what you mean. That
yeah.
then we have to go back to the level of being a human from the human aspect.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what we're here to experience. Beautiful.
Yes, but from the soul level,
you get ignited when you share with that, when you let that happen. It just, like I say, it's just like drinking water. It just becomes all the time, and it's unbelievable. Like, for instance, I'll tell you, I really felt like my Fridays, to go to art was like my day to just breathe and have for myself, right? Filling one's own cup, yes? So therein, I decided that I might like to do it in a convertible with the top down and feel free like a bird, and, have my music on and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, How am I going to get a convertible? I'm a mum with 6 kids. Mums with 6 kids don't get convertibles. What's this? Blah, blah, blah. That's all the voice, of what you're supposed to do and this, that, the other. Well, this little duck, her car decided not to work anymore, the old crap Tiva, the 7-seater for all the kids and everything. The kids are growing up. They're all like 15, 16, 17 and 18 now. And I've only got the 8-year-old, really and truly, if you really think about it. So I was grounded for about 8 weeks, and it was fabulous because in that grounding of not having that big mama car soccer thing, whatever, the game you got to play, my partner had to step up and start taking the kids to school and doing the school, drop off and pick up. And therein that, he got 3 of them to start walking to school. They have been so spoiled and so looked after that, mummy on tap. So now the only one that I had to take to school, if it wasn't raining, of course, is Faye. And so then, boom, I had a little looking, Gumtree wasn't working. Only the car apps was working for me. So I just know, I just go with it. Don't fight it. Just keep going. And I found my car, a convertible, silver, like my hair, Holden Astra, absolutely gorgeous. And it even has personalized plates with my initials on it. I was like, that's my car. That's my car. 2 days later, I got it. I now drive a convertible to art every Friday.
Well, good night, Martin. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Martin, for stepping in and
Thanks, everyone.
Are you going
sharing.
Yes,
It
thank you, Michael.
wouldn't have been the same without you.
Thank you, Martin, for being here with us together and handling the computer thing.
Sure. A few technicalities, of course, anytime. Yeah, it's. I know it's later there where you are, Helga, by an hour. But as I speak now, it's almost 3:20 a.m. here, and as I said at the beginning, something it must have been about 2 hours ago now that I couldn't or wasn't able to intend to hang around for too long after a couple of similar nights of enjoyment. So yeah, but I'll be back. Yes, whether it's on my own channels or indeed with yourselves, certainly. And who knows, it could even be as soon as, less than 24 hours. But hey, don't forget one thing as well. Helga and I have already entered the 31st day of March 2021. As I say this, it's a Wednesday. And shortly will be, certainly you have as well, haven't you, there down under? Of course, I'm forgetting Jennifer. Of course,
yes, lunchtime here.
Silly of me. Yes, well, of course, for you, for me, for Helga, and soon for Eric and for Desiree, it'll be the final day we can broadcast on Periscope.
Really?
Yep.
Are
Yeah,
they changing
finishes.
everything?
Periscope finishes today. April the 1st, it will be no more. That's no joke either. Don't know why they chose April the 1st. Everyone must have been questioning that.
But I don't have Periscope.
Oh, well, for those that do have, though, as you know, I would suggest that a lot of people who have been migrating over from Periscope to HAPS will certainly be discovering you over here, Helga. And one thing as well is, I don't know if you're aware, I mean, one of my channels is Periscope, and because I'm in this broadcast, we are broadcasting right now to Periscope. This is simulcast to all the platforms that are connected to each of our individual accounts here on HAPS.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah,
those followers of Periscope
get over
that follows you and all others, we want to invite you to come and sit with us. So be welcome on Habs.
And you can find me on Facebook. Just for my
I'm also on Facebook.
hello.
I
Yes,
think all of
please.
us.
Yeah, all of you. Jennifer Ray.
And not to forget the fourth dimension and beyond, as well, as Desiree was mentioning earlier. We're there too. I'm gonna exit on that note and say thanks very much, everyone. As always, I'll be with you soon, and glad to support and be part of this awesome stuff. Bye for
Much
now.
love.
I'll let you all
Much love,
continue.
Martin.
I'm trying to work this one out. There you go. There you go. Unseen the sliding. You beautifuls. That's right here. There's one there. There's one there. I can't wait for it all to go here. Way. When that goes together. Woohoo! Loving it. Loving it. Beautiful people.
Yes.
Yeah, John says Twitter Live also. Take care,
Oh.
brother. Yeah, and so that's what's interesting about this Haps, Jennifer, is I'm broadcast. That's how you came across this is Facebook, because I'm broadcasting there. I'm broadcasting here, obviously. Then on YouTube and Twitch. I didn't
Very
never have
clever.
a Periscope, but and then as John says, Twitter also.
Yeah, very clever. I'm so old school that I still have my first ever email address.
Oh wow!
I still have it, and I'm a bit of a hoarder in memories and photos and things, and so I have everything that's ever happened. Do you remember when we used to send emails to each other and have funny pictures and jokes and all that sort of stuff? Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and draw them out
All of them.
with the people would design different things with the
Yeah.
hashtags and the slashes and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
And the first
When
ever
Yahoo
memes.
was a thing.
Yeah. Seems like ages ago now, eh? Yeah. And that was like revolutionary, because then you didn't have to like write letters and, you know, get a stamp and but wasn't it so beautiful? Do you remember receiving letters and having
That was a beautiful
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, wasn't it
It was
special?
more personal.
Yeah. And you used to send it off with squawk, which is sealed with a loving kiss.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that. That's so cool. Yeah. And then the parents and grandparents or whatever, you know, you leave home and that, and then they send you these generic Christmas cards with a letter in it, and then they started getting typed, and then just a tiny bit of, you know, handwritten scrawl at the end, and you just knew that they were just printing off so many of these to give to every year to tell them what's going on, you know. This is before texting.
Hello, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
What's up, Michael? I miss being a pen pal. Like, that's what I miss.
Yeah.
Nobody does it anymore.
No. Even in the classroom at school. Do you remember? We used to hand each other notes. And
I still have all my notes from high school. Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
You know? And you used to draw funny things and, you know, have your own secret codes, and yeah, it was cool, eh? Don't let the
Yes.
teachers see.
Yes, Mama Helga.
Read the message, please. I sent you a message.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Eric?
I'll do it.
Alrighty.
We have sent our pen pal message.
Okay.
Penguin.
Can I get the balls to
You can get the
welcome him?
ball, the dusty ball.
I'm trying to get in there right. There you go. Oh, so beautiful. Mm. So beautiful.
So Eric, I'm looking up larvicite, larvicite,
Yeah.
larvicite, and it says that it will help heal skin issues
Yep.
and help facilitate energy in the brain for neuropathic issues too.
Yeah, and
It
something
comes
about
from
muscle too.
it comes from Norway,
Yes, I love that it comes from Norway.
and it says
Much.
it has a Nephilim or Nephilim type of crystal energy in it. So that's what I was talking about. Like the energy of the human power is not just the human power. Like how what we have is like more than that. So it's like this stone is a definite like confirmation with that angelic
Yeah.
Nephilim energy. So when you get your hands on it, just know that's a really powerful stone.
And they also, one of the other things they call it is the black moon or the dark moon, which I take that as the void, or it's still the feminine, because I'm talking about the moon and the feminine energies, and that's where the real power is.
What are you gonna get? Are you gonna get like a skull or something, or
You know what? Well, I'm gonna get a few pieces because I always question the China stuff. But there, how I have my labradorite skull with the mohawk.
yeah?
They've got one with a mohawk. It's little, so I'll have a little one and a big one. And labradorite and larvicite are very similar in that they have those flashes, but they're different as well. So I thought that would be cool. And then I'm gonna get a heart, and then I'm gonna get an egg. I'm gonna get a couple of different pieces just so that I can put them in different rooms. Yeah.
Larvicite reminds me of Seraphonite. It
Mm,
almost has the resemblance of the angel wings in a way, but
mm.
Seraphonite is a really soft stone. I want to say grade 4 to 5, possibly up to a 7, but that's not. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Indigo Gabbo, the way it looks, but then also the vibration of it is 44, and then the hardness is 6.5, which is 11. So
Wow,
I thought,
you know about your stones, eh?
well,
That
I
is
just, I
so
just, I
cool.
just read it like a couple hours ago, so it's fresh in my mind.
Well,
I'm yeah,
again,
we're huge stone collectors here. Yeah.
well, I just literally had on Friday just finished doing a mosaic art piece, my second ever. Because, like I said, on a Friday I go do art. I do mosaic piece as well, and I did this one. This is a crystal grid that I did with the Flower of Life, with all my crystals that I've ever been gifted from friends and family. So this is before it's
Hang on, let me blow you up here real quick.
okay.
Hold it. Wait a minute. Hold
Yeah,
it
Ooh,
back up there,
yeah.
and I'll make it
could be
bigger.
best friends.
A little bit to your
Am I
left.
getting it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. There you go.
This is before
Wow.
it gets grouted. So that main crystal piece is quartz, and there's selenite in there, there's rosewood, there's everything. And then what happens is the grouting is like mud, and so you're mudding them up. Hang on. Okay, so you're
Wow.
mudding them up.
Uh,
I've done it with black grout. So this is
Yeah.
a large round table, and because you can never see the size on there, and now and then you got to rub it back. And there were 2 other women with me, one 10 years older, one 10 years younger, and we were commenting how we were like the golden, what are they called, the golden sisters, making the orb. They do a special weave. It was in the movie with Hercules and the sisters that make the web. They make the grid. So
Oh,
really
wow.
special. Make them that. It's a terrible photo, but I'm painting it gold when
Beautiful.
it's finished, and I'll take a better photo then because it sparkles. They sparkle like this, like stars with the
Uh,
black. Yeah, and it was just beautiful to do, and you can see that middle crystal is huge.
yeah.
This is like if you're thinking of a round table, that's how big that thing is.
Wow.
Wow,
So,
beautiful. Eric,
thank you. It was so beautiful to make and so peaceful. And I don't know if you've ever done the mosaic. It's just a really beautiful medium of expression, and you can just add whatever's yours, whatever you feel, and it is that even that grouting of it, it's like icing on a cake. It just feels amazing. So I'm really wanting to know every single, like I know majority of all the crystals, but I really want to learn every single one and then write a number on the grid and then have it on the back of the piece so that you can see how it's connected. Yeah, they were all connected and placed where they wanted to go. So yeah, just really special.
Yeah, I've wanted to do mosaic before, like maybe like on a wall or something
Yeah.
outside, but I've not yet ventured in that realm yet. I really like that what you're talking about doing there. That looks. I can't wait to see the final, like you said, with all the glitteriness and everything.
There's pirate in there. There's rainbow pirate. There's the fake gold. All the little bits and pieces that just shimmer and shake. And then there's all the shinies too. Love it.
beautiful.
And did you say that was selenite that was in the center?
Yeah. Well, I'll go get one because I have the sister piece, and then you can tell
Oh,
me.
okay.
Eric, can you read the comment? Or what I mean is, can you invite Moon Shadow Mac Oho, even for a minute, that we can get to know him if he is available? Because
Yeah, I can do
yeah,
that. Hey, Daz, you want to look at that? It looks more like selenite's kind of fibrous.
Yeah. I've got a selenite as well.
The
That
stone
one,
that she
Technicolor.
has?
yeah,
Yeah,
Delta Mac,
milky quartz. Yeah.
yeah, that looks
About this,
more
yeah.
milky quartz. Yeah.
I think it's
Taus
crystal
Melek
quartz.
is here.
That's this selenite. We found this in Coober Pedy,
Wow.
traveling Australia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we
We
found a
love you
lot of
too.
different rocks and stones just traveling.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't she beautiful?
Yes. I hear
Love the
echo.
layers.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it's with the laptop.
But this one is the one that's in the sister one is in the center of the crystal grid.
Wow.
Ooh.
you make it for yourself or do you sell them?
This one I just made it. It's only my second ever time making anything with mosaic, and I just got pulled to do it. So, but yeah, that's a clever idea. If anybody wants to make one, I can tell you how to do it.
Okay.
Help you, because you got to do it yourself. This is just
Yes.
it's a part of it. And then if you get one of your elders that you really love with you, and someone who's young that you really love with you to help in the process, it's phenomenal. Really
Or we
powerful.
can do it in a live broadcast.
Yeah, you could teach a class.
That would
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, Helga asked me to invite him, so I invited him up. I don't know if he's on right now or not, Helga, but thank you, Colin, for
Thank you.
putting him in the chat there. And
Yes.
I went ahead and subscribed to him as well.
I did too.
Good night, Colin. Much love, brother.
Much love, brother. And again, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Much love, beautiful soul.
Yeah. So how have all of you guys been where you live? How's it been? What's it like? What's the feel out there? Like when you go to the shops or whatever, what do you feel?
Ooh.
I haven't been outside of my house in 6 months, so I don't go shopping. It comes to me.
That's so cool.
Oh, do I have
You
to
get
share
Uber
it?
Eats.
Yeah,
Delivery.
you're the most experienced in that, so you'll have to share, Helga.
Tell me.
I went to the shop today and I don't wear mask.
No, me neither.
Nope.
Yep.
And I was already at the counter to pay. And there was this guy in front of me. And he said, and I was with my headphone in the shops because I don't want to have discussion with anyone because of me not wearing a mask. But that man, he pointed at me that I had to wear a mask. Sorry, but the human part came out of me. And I asked him, I said, do you work here? He said, no, but you have to wear a mask. I said, you know what I don't understand? That people mind other business without asking them if they feel like. I don't
Well
bother you. Don't bother me.
Yeah. Oh, amen, sister. Amen. They've twisted it so bad that they've got people on the people. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Yep.
Absolutely. Nah, yeah.
And this is the second time we did this man. This is the second time.
Wow. Same man.
The same guy. Oh
Wow.
gosh.
Yes.
He needs a healing, this dude. He's asking for it. He probably wants to not wear one himself. And he's
Yeah.
healing. It's probably his
Yeah.
way of saying, how do you get away with that? So I'd just turn around and go, just put some of these on, baby. And the world shuts off.
Yes.
Yes. Good to hear that you do it that way, Talisman.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really go out because I'm still healing from my conditions, so Concrete and me are still getting acclimated, but I went to open up a bank account back in March, I guess it was. March or April, and I thought it was really funny because we went in there and there was a line and all this, and there was a guy standing there when we first came in, a security guard, and all this stuff, and everybody that was in there was wearing a mask. And I looked at my wife and I said, we're getting separated, but she still helps me get places. So I said, do you notice anything interesting in here? And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, just look around. Is there anything that you see that seems to be the same? She was like, I don't know. I said, well, everybody's wearing a mask, right? She was like, yeah. I said, but how are they wearing it? And she was just like, and then she was like, oh, because everybody was wearing them like this, but their noses were exposed.
Yeah, they
I
could
was
breathe.
like, what's the point in wearing a mask if you're still going to breathe it up your nose? And so I was waiting for her to get something, her check cash or something, and then we were going to go in to a room and open up a checking account for me. And I'm just standing in no man's land. I'm not anywhere close to anybody, and I'm just reading their posters on the wall, like, "Oh, get a loan for this" or whatever, And this lady behind the counter was like, "Hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing?" I was like, "Me? What am I doing?" I'm reading your propaganda, I guess. Whatever you're trying to sell me there. And she was like, "Yeah, but you can't stand over there. You need to go stand in line."
Ah, don't you love it?
I was like,
you love it?
"What?" I was like,
Oh,
okay, this really doesn't even make any sense because in line, I'm going to be a foot away from everybody. And I was like, and I don't have a mask, and I'm not going to wear a mask. And but here in some places, they are making you wear a mask. But where I'm at right now in my healing process, I'm not really going out, so I don't have to be exposed to those places or something. But I see the irony, it's like, wow, you're gonna try to control me, but what you're doing to control you not receiving this virus, you're not even doing it like in a way that would be proper. Not that the mask is going to protect you at all, anyhow, but
the virus
Not at
is
all.
love. The virus is love, and they don't want you to catch it.
it can get in your ears too, Tulsa Max says. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because we used to chat to each other. You'll notice also when you go in there, there's not as much noise. Humans are social creatures. We really are. Even if you feel like not doing that for the time being in that, you get a natural hit of dopamine by being around other humans. And it just happens. And even the people that are negative and go out and have a presumed awful experience or awful time, they're getting their hit. That's their hit. That's what they want, and that's us as humans. And they don't want you to do that because we're all evolving at such a huge rate. If we were all able to just be ourselves of what we're doing all right now out there, imagine everybody would just be affected with love, and then everything else would just fall away like that.
That's a beautiful way. I love the way you put that. Yeah.
Yeah. In Australia, we say no. We just don't do it. They tried, and like you say, we started by putting our noses out of it, complaining that it was fogging up our glasses, just complaining in general, and saying this is just crap. It's my body, my choice. And then we started protesting and everything, and then we decided that was huge and everything. But then we decided that was kind of falling into the masculinity of marching, like army, that whole thing that they love because that's what they're counting on. They want that. And so then we started chopping it up, changing it up, lightening it up, started dancing and, the flash mob dances and all those sorts of things. Dancing, celebration, corroboree, all of this, and it's good. our Indigenous know that it's a new form of genocide, and so they've actually fled out bush. They've gone, nah, you can shove your experimental crap where the sun don't shine. We're out of here. So they're already yep. So
Masks are a symbolism of slavery.
Mhm.
yep, and you just got to say no. Got to say no and just keep loving each other. And so it only takes one too, to be honest. It only takes one to enter in like you did and like you did. So if you were then are able to get the two, even in the Bible it says two can do and move mountains, then that's it. That entire thing will shift. So you just got to hold true, and anybody that's watching in that, sorry that I'm silly with this camera thing. You just got to get in there and just stand up for yourself, and don't be shy. Don't worry about it. They're just humans too. They're not going to plug you. They don't want to get in trouble themselves, you know. They'll leave you alone. You just hold true.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing of, restricting you can't enter our store if you don't have a mask. It's like, well, if the mask is protecting you,
Yeah.
then what is wrong with me not wearing a mask?
So what,
And then now
No,
the whole
that's
vaccine thing, everybody
Yeah.
has to get vaccinated. Well, if you're vaccinated and that supposedly protects you, then why do you worry about me?
but it's not. They're just
yes.
injecting themselves up with the shit, and you don't even
Yeah.
know what shit you're injecting.
I
I mean, it's
know.
common sense.
I know.
Seriously,
I
common sense.
I
Yeah.
posted
Yeah.
some information about what is in the polio vaccine. And if you know that,
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually
you
it
know,
actually made an entire generation sick. So when they say that they cured this because of that, and that's the one thing that they've got to go back on. The thing is that in actual fact, just like the plague with all of the mice and the rats and everything in London, and it was just overrun and everything, and everyone was dying and this and that and the other. Now that's a pandemic, right? And you know what that was? It
mhm.
is. It's the rats and all the mice and everything, and the filth, and the chucking out their shit on the road, and the just the feces on their clothes, and wearing herbs on their bloody jackets just so that they can smell something nice when, Mr. Joe Bloggs comes around the corner and he smells like a sewer rat. All that sort of stuff. It had to burn. It had to burn, and it burned. And London burned. London Bridge is falling down. And it burnt to the ground, and away went the illness. This is the burning of the establishment that has been holding down and just incarcerating souls for millennial. And
Yeah.
their bridge is
But
burning.
I love the way you put that, because when everybody lights their light within, then we burn out the bullshit sin.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. So
Awaken in
cool.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened
Thank
to me
you.
with my
That's-
Kundalini. Yeah. Just like being struck by lightning, and just gave me immeasurable insight, pleasure, and just the fear just got zapped away, and it was just all over me, and then I just held this ball of light in my hand and just wanted to run out and show the family, like, oh, have a look, what the, and then everything's just like a cloud, like I'm walking in a cloud, like there's no floor. And for 10 days I didn't need to eat, I didn't need to drink, I didn't need to sleep. It was just Yeah, awesome, awesome. All the societal layers just burnt away. Just amazing. Just, yeah, just let it go. Just let it go.
One
It's
thing
their
I
game.
know, I'm going to follow you because I would like to connect more with you. Yes, definitely.
I'm a little
Awesome.
house mama.
Eh?
I'm a house mama.
Me too.
Yeah, we're just house mums. I actually was thinking my next mosaic art piece will just be a plaque for the front wall and it'll say Hotel Mama.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is so beautiful.
Mm.
And that's what Des is too. She's a house mama.
Yo. Yo, house mama.
I have to get going. My house is flooded.
Uh oh.
No.
Yep.
From the neighbors.
The bath.
I don't know. There's this like little drain thing next to the toilet, and the toilet's not working, and then now the shower's like overfilling. The sink is acting funky, and now there's
Oh.
like dark liquid coming up from the floor.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's septic.
Turn it all off.
Wow.
Do you know how to turn off your water supply for the house?
I live in an apartment.
Yeah, you'll have to get a hold of the landlord.
Yo, or the caretaker.
They're closed
there.
right now.
Of course
Oh
they are.
my goodness.
Yo, that's what
I'm
happens. Just turn it all off, and then go to your next door neighbor. Yep.
Love you, Des.
Good luck, baby.
All
They'll
flooded.
probably be experiencing the same thing. Oh.
Oh man.
If it gets really bad, just find out who lives underneath you, because they'll be having the same pipes.
I am
And
the
the-
underneath.
Yeah.
You're the
And,
underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, darling.
Yeah. That's why I was saying, is it your is your neighbors? You might ask them if they're, because if they're not experiencing it yet, they will be.
Yeah.
No,
Does it rain?
they didn't overflow. I think this is something going on with the septic, like you're saying. The whole entire, even going in her room is flooded.
Oh,
So-
Oh,
gee.
sweetheart.
Yeah. We
Okay.
had that happen when we first moved in here. They had to dig up the septic.
Oh, no.
Clean up your room.
No using the toilet. Cover everything in towels. Close the door. Stay in another room until you can get help. That's just. Oh, look! There's someone in the light. Did you see that? There was a face there. When you turned around, there was a male face in pink. There's someone who loves you very, very much. Who's there with you right
Metatron.
now.
Metatron. Yep, that's what I'm going through. So I'm gonna get off here and try to get my friend's vacuum. So I love y'all.
Love
Love
you,
you.
guys.
Beautiful.
See you later.
Bye bye. See you tomorrow. Later. Yes, I think it is a beautiful time to end this broadcast.
Yeah.
It's 4:55 my time.
10:55, which adds up to 11 my time.
Still
Mine
lunchtime.
14. Lunchtime.
She's got the bright lights over there. Well, it's so good to see you, Jennifer. Thanks for persevering through all the technical difficulties.
We got there. Love you, beautiful people.
Love you too.
you.
And
Love you,
welcome.
Hoga.
Keep shining your light.
I will. And you
You
too.
too.
Thank you, everyone.
Big hugs. If only I hug you.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. I think she just exited.
Okay.
You're the only one that can shut it down.
Oh, okay. I'm going to shut it down now. Sleep well, everyone.
Later, John. Much love, brother.
Okay. I see just exit studio or end broadcast.
You want to end the broadcast because sometimes if you exit